Beyond Success: How Black Women Entrepreneurs Are Rewriting the Rules of Power. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I want to begin by acknowledging the extraordinary woman whose work has fundamentally transformed how we understand entrepreneurship in America. Lauren Woodson isn't just a researcher or a business consultant. She is a visionary whose insights have illuminated paths that many couldn't see before. Through her groundbreaking work with Black women entrepreneurs across the country, she has uncovered patterns that aren't just inspiring, they're revolutionary. Lauren isn't merely documenting success stories, she's mapping an entirely new framework for what power, leadership, and community building can look like in our economy. Her dedication has created ripples that are becoming waves of transformation across industries. We've been told a story about entrepreneurship for generations, haven't we? The lone genius, the self made billionaire, the singular visionary who disrupts everything. It's the narrative we celebrate in magazine covers, in business schools, in venture capital boardrooms. But what if that story isn't just incomplete? What if it's fundamentally wrong? What if the most powerful model of entrepreneurship isn't about standing alone at the top, but about bringing others with you? This is the question that Lauren Woodson's research forces us to confront. And the answer? It shatters everything we think we know about success. Here's the truth that should shake us all. Despite facing some of the most persistent funding gaps and systemic barriers in American business, Black women entrepreneurs aren't just starting businesses at record rates. They're pioneering an entirely different model of success, one that doesn't just lift individuals, but transforms entire communities. Let that sink in for a moment. The demographic facing the greatest obstacles is the one redefining what success looks like for all of us. This isn't just inspiring, it's revolutionary. The data tells us something remarkable. Black women are the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in America. But the truly transformative aspect isn't just that they're starting businesses, it's how they're reimagining what entrepreneurial leadership can be. Let me take you inside what's happening at the Women's Business Enterprise National Council Conference in New Orleans last year. Hundreds of Black woman owned businesses gathered. The challenges they faced were substantial and documented. Black female entrepreneurs receive approvals for only 45% of requested loans compared to 55% for men. They face higher denial rates across the board. But here's where everything changes. Instead of competing against each other in a landscape of scarcity, these entrepreneurs built collaborative networks. They shared access to capital sources. They created mentorship programs. They developed supplier diversity initiatives together. The results? Average revenues for Black woman owned firms increased by 32.7%. These businesses outpaced market growth by transforming individual challenges into shared opportunity structures. Many of these entrepreneurs began as solo founders facing isolation. Through intentional community building, they created partnerships that amplified their reach. Between 2019 and 2023, we saw growth in both firm numbers, up 94%, and employment up an astonishing 252% among woman owned companies. This isn't just success, this is transformation at scale. What Lauren's research reveals is that these entrepreneurs aren't just building businesses, they're building ecosystems. They're creating resilient networks where personal wins become community assets. Their growth isn't measured solely in revenue, but in how they create opportunities for others through mentorship, advocacy, and resource sharing. This is a profound shift from the traditional model of entrepreneurship. Now, you might be thinking that's inspiring, but what about the very real systemic challenges that remain? You're right to ask. The obstacles are substantial and documented. The National Bureau of Economic Research highlights ongoing gender and race gaps along every stage of startup development. Less than 10% of all U.S. entrepreneurs are Black. Less than 30% of angel investors are women. Only about 16% of general partners at venture capital firms are female, with even lower representation for Blacks at just 4%. Failure rates among Black firms are also higher compared with white peers. These aren't just statistics, they represent real barriers to entry, growth, and sustainability. But here's where Lauren's insights become truly transformative. These very obstacles have sparked innovative solutions that are changing the landscape of American entrepreneurship. Let me share the story of Tasha, a fintech founder who was rejected by 47 traditional investors. Instead of giving up, she turned to community based investors, built a diverse team that reflected her values, and accessed specialized accelerator programs. Today, her company has achieved a successful exit, and she's created a fund specifically designed to invest in other underrepresented founders. This pattern repeats across industries. While overall gaps remain significant, female founded venture backed startups achieved an impressive exit rate of 19.4%, showing remarkable resilience when given resources and support, even outperforming proportionally based on their representation within venture portfolios. This isn't just adapting to an unfair system. This is creating new pathways that challenge the very foundations of how we think about capital, growth, and success. And the impact extends far beyond the balance sheet. According to Global Entrepreneurship Monitor data, women's startup activity has doubled over 2 decades. This increase has been driven especially by leaders who leverage digital tools and social media platforms during pandemic era disruptions. Take Maya, who launched a wellness brand after being told repeatedly that there wasn't a market for her products designed specifically for women of color. She used social media not just to build her own brand, but to spotlight other Black women entrepreneurs in her field. Today, her company is thriving, but more importantly, she's created a platform that has launched dozens of other businesses. These entrepreneurs faced entrenched stereotypes regarding leadership capability, a lack of visible role models across high growth industries, and limited initial access points into established markets and networks due largely to gender and race bias. Their response? They intentionally cultivated public profiles via social media and e commerce channels while actively mentoring other aspiring business owners, both online and offline. The outcomes have been remarkable. Women led teams became recognized as more creative and diverse, with better ROI outcomes reported even against industry averages. Many successful leaders began careers outside conventional business tracks or overcame early professional setbacks to ultimately build organizations whose mission included amplifying other underrepresented voices. This has doubled the national average startup activity rate since the early 2000s and catalyzed new talent pipelines through peer mentorship and influence. The impact? A broadened perception of who can succeed and what innovation looks like in modern American enterprise. This is what Lauren Woodson helped me understand. Representation matters deeply. As more Black women achieve visibility as founders and leaders across industries, from tech to wellness, their stories inspire the next generation to step into entrepreneurship with confidence and purpose. Now, I want to be clear about something. This isn't just a feel good story about overcoming obstacles. This is about fundamentally reimagining what power looks like. In our traditional understanding of entrepreneurship, power is individual, it's competitive, it's about dominance and control. But what if true power isn't about what you accumulate for yourself? What if it's about what you generate for others? What if the most powerful form of leadership isn't about standing alone at the top, but about creating space for others to rise alongside you? This is the profound shift that Lauren Woodson's work illuminates. Black women entrepreneurs are pioneering a model of success that measures growth not just in profits, but in people empowered, not just in market share captured, but in opportunities created, not just in individual achievement, but in community transformation. And here's why this matters for everyone in this room, regardless of your gender, your race, or your industry. This model of collective success offers a powerful alternative to the zero sum thinking that dominates so much of our business culture. It suggests that the most sustainable form of growth doesn't come from outcompeting others, but from creating ecosystems where many can thrive. It challenges us to reconsider how we measure success. What if our metrics included not just what we achieve for ourselves, but what we enable others to achieve? It invites us to reimagine leadership not as standing at the front of the room, but as creating space for new voices to be heard. This isn't just a different approach to entrepreneurship, it's a different vision of what business can be in society. So I challenge you today, how will you use your position, your privilege, your power to create space for others? How will you measure your success, not just by what you build, but by who you bring with you? The future belongs to those who understand that true power isn't hoarded, it's shared. It isn't about building walls, it's about opening doors. It isn't about standing alone, it's about rising together. This is the revolution that Black women entrepreneurs are leading. And it's time for all of us to follow their lead. Because when we rewrite the rules of power, we don't just change business, we change everything. Thank you.